everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depends where you are. Thank you so much for joining us in this Meet the Experts webinar. We usually have one or two per month, and this one is really important for us and special, of course. So we want to say thank you to our guest, Nicola Chemello. Thank you so much for joining us to be part in this Meet the Expert. Meet the Expert is a series of webinars that we build in the idea to give new knowledge for our students and, of course, our European community, European Forensic Institute, and, of course, the EACA, that is the European Association of Crime Analysis. We want to say thank you to all of you, to our special guests, and of course, all the attendees that are today here. So we will have in the end of the webinar a Q&A space to answer all your questions. So please write all the questions that you have in the Q&A, and in the end of the webinar, we can reply to you. So we want to say also hello to Sam, the director of the EACA, who is here with us today. And we want, of course, to say thank you from European Forensic Institute. We offer bachelor's and master programs for the academic year 25-26. We will start soon. So also if you want to check our programs, of course, you are more than welcome. So here are some of our details. If you want to contact us, if you want to follow us in Instagram, Facebook, we usually offer not just the education pathway, but also webinars like this one, conference. We will have an important conference in October that later we can speak about that. So thank you so much. Sam, if you want to say hello.
Thank you, Norma, for the introduction. It's really great to have you once again here organizing this wonderful webinar series. So it's really great to have you on board for that stuff. But now let me go straight to our today's presenter. And I would also like to welcome him in the name of the European Association of Crime Analysts, Nicola Chemello. It's such a great honor that you have the time for us to present about your very, very important topic. And I know it now for years that you are one of the best experts in this field. So it's really, really great that you are joining us so our membership, our students can benefit from your expertise. Thank you once again. And now the floor is yours. Thank you, Nicola.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for the European Forensic Institute. It's an honor for me to be here. And as you said, it is a very long period that we are cooperating together to make the overall knowledge about the digital forensics, but the forensics stuff spreading wider all over the world, because this is a very important task. And in the today presentation, we are going to go a little bit deeper in the data validation. So we will see how we can manage it and why it is so important in our daily activity, and which are the main things, main topics that we should cover during our activity. So just going through who I am. I'm a computer engineer. This is from where I started, and since 2009, I've been working as a digital forensic expert, mainly for Italian court houses. And I'm also the co-founder of Securcube, a digital forensic company that was born with aim to help investigators in giving answer. And this is a very is our mantra. And why? Because during any kind of investigation, at the end of the day, you need to provide your results or findings to the judge. And the judge, that is non-technical guy, need to understand this in a plain words. So you can use so sophisticated technical terms to explain what happened. Otherwise, nobody can understand what happened. Sorry for the issue. And so with this goal, everything that we have been producing since a long time ago is focused on this topic. You will see we have this cooperation with EFI since a long time ago, and there is a running program. You will see in my presentation what we are doing, because we are going to present, we are going to write a paper about a specific investigation and a specific data validation topic that is crucial in what we do. So as I mentioned, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Securcube. I'm also the CTO of ARA company, another Italian company that manages local interception. And I've had to have several certifications in this field. So the most important stuff that we do have and you can have is your experience, because theoretically you need to understand, you need to know everything about this kind of stuff and the work that you are going to provide. But just the experience gives you something more, gives you the feeling that what you are doing is done in the right way. So this activity that I've been working with the local enforcement since the beginning, and I guess a daily basis, is very helpful not only for improve the digital forensic skills, but also to provide and to create software and hardware that really are really helpful for them, so for the investigators. So every single functionality, every single question they ask should be something that you, as investigator, need to answer in order to provide them a better life. This is the goal. So going a little bit deeper in the data validation, we will cover the data validation from different aspects. First of all, data validation was born mostly when you are seizing a device that is not from a third party, but is from the suspect. So in this case, you need to prove that what is inside this mobile phone is true. And there is not anti-forensic technique that were performed on that device before the seizure. So when we do seize the device, I will spend just a few words about what we have to do, because daily activity based also about this topic is changing so fast. Because what we did in the past, because if you check best practices for digital forensics for 5 years ago, probably you will find something that is completely not working right now. When I do remember that at the beginning, when the seizure phase of a computer, there was, okay, turn it on PC, just remove the plug from the wall and that's it, and switch off in this way. If you do this right now, you can make a mess. So when you have a device, what you have to do immediately, because it's the first phase, you need to make the device, put the device in a very safe environment, and you cannot allow any alteration on the device and on the data inside the device. So you need to perform some activities. In feature, you see there is something bad, but we need something more, because you have the chance to protect the mobile phone to getting information. And the only way you have is to cut off every single connection that this mobile phone has with the external environment. So you have the chance to use the Faraday bags. There are specific bags that you put your mobile phone into, and there is no signal that gets in this mobile phone. Or you can use something different. You can place the mobile phone in airplane mode, or you can put the mobile phone, you can switch off the mobile phone, so you can power off the mobile phone. And there are two different things on these tasks. So when you have a device and you turn off the device, for sure you preserve the data inside the mobile phone, but you do have a very big problem. Because if you have a phone that is 5 or 3, up to 3 years old, maybe more, you set a PIN code to open the mobile phone. It means that usually the data inside it is encrypted, and so the possibility to get the information from the mobile phone when it is turned on is something. When it is turned off, it means that you need to go inside the mobile phone and get the data from the chipset, but the data itself is encrypted. So you have this challenge. Putting the mobile phone in airplane mode prevents that the data is fully encrypted. You cannot get back anything, but also expose you on a risk. And the main risk is that every single activity that you have set, that the suspect set in this mobile phone will run. For example, if it has an alarm, it will run. If it has a specific application that deletes something, it will run. So I can delete the data as well. In the same way, when you have a computer, or a computer that is connected in internet, and you have the good thing that computer is turned on, you have the access to these cloud accounts. And if you switch off the computer, you will not have this access anymore, probably, because you need maybe to connect to the same Wi-Fi network. Otherwise, the software, the servers understand that you change something, so they ask you a password or to multi-factor access authentication. So you need, again, to preserve the data, to collect the data, and to understand when you can switch off the mobile phone or the computer, or when you should avoid this. There is not a manual that say 100% of the time you have to do one or the second things. It is just because what you are doing. So having a very wide knowledge about the devices is mandatory. So this is one of the biggest risks, as mentioned before. So everything could be encrypted. It means that even if you extract the memory chip from one mobile phone and you put in the chip reader machine, you can read the data. But if the data is hardware encrypted, you can have issues in getting the plain data back. So most of the time, you cannot get back anything. So this is a very important problem that we do have. And the same way, when you have a pin locked mobile phone, you need to unlock the mobile phone as well. Otherwise, you cannot get anything back from the device. So this is what we have from one mobile phone, from one device. But we should consider every single time the environment. So you have to consider to get all other information that you can get. For example, if you are in a specific area with a mobile phone, you should understand which cell towers is covering that specific place. Or is there any CCTV camera around? Is any license plate recognition system around? So you can check if a car was in the same place with the mobile phone maybe days before. Okay, you can collect information about GPS, and then as much information as you put in this data validation schema is the best. For example, if you also get the information about I sent a bank transfer, so you got the bank transfer logs from the bank, you can try to link together these logs from the bank, from the current logs with the user cell tower during the transaction. So if you can put all together, you will see that Nicola sent that bank transfer belong this cell tower that covers specifically this place. So this is why you need to look with a very wide eyes the crime scene every single time. Even if you are not the specialist for digital standard fingerprints, but you need to help your colleague in doing this, into not losing data. As having the same, the idea is the same like having the data from a mobile phone. If it is encrypted, you cannot get anything. If you miss something, your colleague can miss something again. So this is the most important part for our field, digital forensics, network isolation of the device, but with the things that I mentioned to you before. So going in the most important part of our topic is this one, the data fusion and the data validation. So the data fusion is the procedure, I can say, is the part of the process where you put together various different sources. For example, as I mentioned, the CCTV camera with the mobile phone with something different. And when you put together, you fuse the data. That is one thing. And the data validation is something more. So data validation is not just putting together two stuff, but try to get something that prove what you already have in your mobile phone. For example, if you have, you know, that every time you take a photo, the mobile phone automatically plays date and time and location of this photo in the memory. So you can get this information from your mobile phone. But what if I altered the metadata information of an image on mobile phone and you perform a digital forensic extraction? You will get that that photo was taken in Milano, for example. But it could be very hard to find this fake data, even especially if I use a very refined technique to alter this information. So not always is possible to figure out this altered data on a mobile phone. So what you have to do, you have to try to get a different source to state that the Nicola mobile phone was in this area in this time. For example, now I'm in Milano. I'm in the railway station right now. And if I take a photo right now, I can say, okay, Nicola was in Milano. If you check my credit card logs, you will see that 3 hours or 6 hours ago, I bought a ticket for the train ticket. And if you check the train company, you will see that that transaction means that I bought a train ticket from Venice to Milano for today. Okay, so you have a data validation. There is a mobile photo, there is a photo on my mobile phone, but also there is a ticket that say, okay, the photo was taken in Milano at 4, and Nicola's train and Nicola bought a ticket that arrived in Milano at 3:30. Okay, it is feasible. It makes sense. Or if the ticket was to Rome, what can you say? First of all, maybe Nicola bought a ticket for someone else. Maybe Nicola was in Rome, or maybe the Nicola's mobile phone wasn't with Nicola. So there is something that highlight that it is like a hint, something that you need to understand deeper what happened and why you have this discrepancy between the data. So the importance of data validation. As if you don't know, when you will check the Securcube website or my LinkedIn account, you will see that we have been doing this phone log system that is a data fusion and validation tool where you can import mobile forensics, you can import call detail records. And call detail records are the information that the carriers are logging every time you perform your mobile phone is performing something. For example, you send a message, there will be a record that that mobile phone using that SIM card was connected to that cell tower and sent a SMS. Without the content, you don't have this from the carriers, but you have this information. And if you put this information in relation with what you got from a mobile phone, you can see, oh yes, and I saw and I got this message from the mobile phone, and this mobile phone and this message has this content. So you put all together the information. So you can prove or disprove of fake alibis using the data validation. And you can enrich your data as well. Because if you are connected to a cell tower, you can say that this cell tower was in Milano or this cell tower was in Venice. So this is the why you need a lot of information, why you need a lot of sources to prove your activity. And this one, as the main topic is that one point is the data validation, and another point is data fusion. Data fusion is something that you can try to merge together, but sometimes there is not space to merge together two different stuff. The data validation is something more because it is just a proof from different sources that cannot be linked together like mathematically, but can prove what you perform. And if you have 2, 3, 4, 5 different sources stating that Nicola was in Milano, okay, you are safe enough when you will be in front of the judge and they will ask you, okay, but what if your tool for the digital forensic had a glitch? Because I saw, because when you go to in front of the judge, it is like 3, 4, 5 years after the analysis, the investigation. When you go there, they can spot that the user tool had a bug, so it creates something wrong. But if you have, okay, you have this tool, but you also have these different proof. You have these different source, putting all together, and all together make sense. You are safe enough to protect yourself from the question they will ask you. So the key challenges in the data fusion are, first of all, data quality. What does it mean? So the quality of data that you put together. For example, if you have multiple servers, they could be like time span, time difference between the different servers. And in this case, you need to figure out how you can manage this. There is a heterogeneity about the data. For example, I spoke about the quality records and then mobile forensics and then CCTV cameras. So that is something that is not so easy to match together. There are not just 3 different Excel files that you can copy and paste and put in a different column. There are completely different stuff. And completely different stuff means not only digital evidences, also physical evidences. And then the scale. The number of data and then the amount of data you can put together, it is crazy because every single day it is enlarging. So you will have hard days and figure out what happened if you have petabytes of data to analyze. So this is something that we are doing with you. So I'm so proud. I'm so happy that you are our partner in doing this. And for the data validation, as I mentioned to you, the importance of cell towers and cell tower coverage is crucial. Why? If you do have a cell tower that is installed in this point and is pointing this direction, and my house is here, you can say, okay, Nicola was connected to this cell tower, so Nicola was at home. No way. There is not the right approach in doing that. The right way is say, okay, the cell tower is pointing to that direction. And the next question is, does this cell tower cover or not Nicola's house? You cannot say just checking the theoretical coverage. You cannot say it just because the cell tower is pointing to the northern Nicola's house in the north. Because suppose there is a high building between the cell towers and me, so you cannot get this data. So this is what we created. We created a hardware device that can 2, 3, 4, 5G cell tower technologies. And what we are doing with you is to mapping the real coverage of the island. Malta Island, this is where the students were during the past weeks and check all the senior coverage about every single point. And this will be amazing because if something happens tomorrow, what can you say? You can check this log and say, okay, I was there 1 week before, and that day, that cell tower covers or not this specific place. And so you can say there was no signal on that place, on Nicola's house during that day. So probably Nicola is lying when he's saying, I was at home during the crime. So this is something that is extremely important to perform. Having this real coverage map is something extremely important, quite unique to have a map like this one. And this is just the first stage. We will see more scans in different way. We will publish something about this. This is a very good project. And this is another way to state, to underline again the data validation. Nicola was in whatever it in La Valletta, and the cell towers that covers La Valletta are this list. These different operators with this signal strength, so you can say yes or not about any hypothesis about where Nicola was. So the other common challenges with the technology, obviously, we do have to check, we do have to cover reconciliation algorithms. As I mentioned before, there are data discrepancies. So there should be something that helps us in making this correlation. Otherwise, this is something strange to say, because we are in the digital forensic world and everything is so objective. But sometimes we need to consider, discrepancies between different data. And in this kind of consideration, it is not a mathematical algorithm to say yes. Why? For example, when you make a call, the call duration, what is it? 20 seconds? Could be from my mobile phone. Well, but what about the receiver? If he answered like 5 seconds after I send the call, probably the calls stored in his logs is 5 seconds shorter, but it's not mathematically. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it could be 7, sometimes it can be longer or shorter. It depends not only about how fast is the guy using the mobile phone, but also the network. If you try to call your colleague and you press OK right now, the mobile phone will not ring in the same second. It will take a while. So this is something that we need to perform, and we need to improve these reconciliation algorithms about different sources. I just spoke about a call example. So this is something important. Time aligning engines. So when we need to refine and modify, not modify in the sense of modifying the real data, but modifying the data in time, how we align the data, we need to be something that should be flexible, as I mentioned to you. And these are specific algorithms that are time aligning engines. So we need, and you need to understand deeply how they work to explain the results again in front of the judge. And one of the most important things is the compliance with the legal framework. Why? Because we are in European Union, and so there are several regulations that we do have, and everything that we do should be, since we are working in the digital forensic world, should be exactly made for this world. So when I mentioned it before about best practice for the digital forensics, I would suggest you to, I will write in the chat later on in swgde.org, the scientific work group on digital evidence. That is US association, where I'm sitting in the Quality Commission, where we write down documents about how to perform digital forensics, how to perform an analysis and investigation of a digital data. But you will never see like go there, press button A and press button B to get the result. It is a schema, a procedure because there cannot be one specific checklist or like a to-do list or so specific, because every time the producer change the iOS, for example, now you know that the iOS 26 is out for the beta testing. So what happened? Well, something could be changed from the iOS 18 to iOS 26. You will see, and something not just for theoretically part, not just for the aero vision or UI interface, but also how they store the data for the security information. So this is why we need to deeply understand how it works and check that the procedure that we performed is compliant with the legal framework that we are using. I'm so happy to tell you that don't link yourself at European best practice, but also check other countries' ones. Why? Because more or less from the technical side, the best practices are more or less the same. Because if you need to extract information from the mobile phone, you need to protect the data, you need to prevent alteration, and you need to extract the most amount of information from that device. So if you have to use something because we are in European Union, don't miss to check all or other information, other procedure that other countries are performing, because it is something that is, keeping your eyes so wide open. And then when we do perform all these kind of information, we can analysis, we need to present the data. And how we need to present the data? At the beginning, I said that you need to speak with very basic terms, with avoiding too technical information, too technical terminology in front of the judge, because they are not technical guys. They are not supposed to do that job. And so the best way is to display in a very easy to understand way. So when you choose your product, obviously, or when you are going to present your finding to the judge, please keep an eye, take your time to write the presentation, to write the paper in a very easy to understand way. If you graph are a way easier than to scroll down a table that is very wide and very long. So the future, and this is something that every one of us will face on, is okay, this is something about AI, because I spoke about the reconciliation algorithms. I spoke about how AI can help us, and we will also have a chat later on. But this is what, okay, you can check here the data in time. I used Gemini in May 27th. Okay, quite early in the morning, it's okay. And I just asked a very simple question. 911 is larger than 9.9. It is stupid answer, because what I asked is which one is bigger? And so Gemini answer with a wrong question, with the wrong answer at the beginning. But if you can check the description, is right. So it is something strange. And I noticed this, that AI models have a lot of glitches. I don't know, probably you're familiar as well with the AI, or if you are not, you should getting familiar with them. So Gemini and also ChatGPT, DeepSeek, or you have to use all of them. And everyone has different glitches. For example, yesterday I checked a watch model. So I just put the reference model, so whatever it was, and I asked ChatGPT, please give me the difference between two of them. And so I set the exact reference number, and ChatGPT gave me back that this watch was like a 30 millimeters of diameter. And since I knew that there was wrong, I asked, are you sure? Because in my opinion, this is the right size. And after my question, ChatGPT answered, oh, you are right. There was I made a mistake. So this is the right size. So please be careful when you trust the AI. You should use it, but be careful. In the same way, because someone can say, okay, this is Gemini. This is what I did with ChatGPT. Same question, same answer, and but the description is correct. So it is something that you need to be aware. So don't trust 100% everything. And this is something that should be extremely important. Also, because the European Act, AI Act, we will see shortly. So why? The main, I can say, problem is this one: the danger of black box logic, because you don't know what there is behind, right? Because you just know there is ChatGPT, so OpenAI behind, that is the company, but how it is working, you don't know. But I love a description or a definition that a professor from the University of British Columbia in Vancouver provide about the black boxes. Suppose that you are asking me something, and how you can say if I'm good or bad in a topic about the answer I'm giving you. So what is the difference between Nicola and ChatGPT about the black box slide? You are just getting my answer as to state if I'm a good person or a bad person, if I'm knowledgeable, if I know what I'm talking about, or if I'm not. In the same way, you are trusting the AI models. So when you try them, you will see, okay, 99 times ChatGPT gave me the right answer. So when you try for the 100 ones, what happened? Is it 100% sure? Okay, I will leave you this open question. So be aware, but because they are something made by AI, but the way that we trust them are more or less the same about how we trust a human. So this is something so important because there is a European AI Act that was released in January 2025, so just released. They say that the decision must remain in a human hand. So there is no way that a software make a decision about any single point about an investigation or anything. So if the software provides you that is, I don't know if you are familiar with case or Celebrite Cupid or whatever used for digital forensics, sometimes they have this categorization of images. So they say, okay, this is a new image, this is invoice, this is a building, this is a hotel room. And so they provide this description using AI models. But they are using something about their stuff. And you cannot, as investigator, you cannot use this in your paper, in your results without checking them. So usually what you have to do is to check the system, make the system running, for example, so making the system automatically transcribe all the audio in your WhatsApp chats, but in the end, you need to check them. And this is again what? Data validation. So we are data validating the tool like AI with human brain. And so this is the best thing that you can do. And obviously, not just human brain, but human ears as well, because different ears can, hear different sounds a little bit. There is sometimes that there is a very hard to understand word that someone else can easily understand. So this is again that also the European Union AI Act provides you since you as human have to make the final decision, you need to validate the tool you are using. And so this is again why the data validation is so important. So I will leave you these few information about European Union AI Act. You can find it online. It's something that I will not going a little deeper on this topic today. Maybe we can do another topic. We can do another session. And this is more or less the overview about the data validation. So with this, I'm on time, perfectly on time. So we do have time for your question. And I hope that so far you're enjoying what I told you about. So go ahead with the question, guys.
Thank you so much, Nicola Chemello. So also, we want to say hello to Andreas Melinato, the head of our institution, European Forensic Institute.
Good
who is
afternoon,
connected
everybody.
with
Ciao,
us.
Nicola.
And,
So thank you very much. Thank you for this presentation, and thank you, Nicola, in particular, and of course, thanks to Securcube for because as you know, Securcube is actively supporting the European Forensic Institute in the professional partnership program. So with presentation events like this, lectures, and also research. So there will be something very important in the future about research too. So this is a necessary work we're doing together, and the results of this cooperation is here for everybody and open to everybody. And this is really, really nice. Thank you again, Nicola, for this important support. And thank you to everybody for attending this Meet the Expert, and I'm sure you have all enjoyed it. I think there are some times for questions, Norma.
I don't know, Andrea, if you brought into the presentation when I provided the audience the first real cell tower scan of the island, because it is a very project that is so important that we are bringing together in a very important paper. So this is something that, so this is why I'm so proud to be part of and to give this kind of speeches to European Forensic Institute. So thank you to you for having me here today.
No, it's a really important cooperation. It's a big opportunity for EFI to grow. It's also an opportunity, I hope, and I think for Securcube, but it's very, very important for our students that they can touch with their hands instruments, equipment, softwares, and to understand and learn more from this practical opportunities. Yeah, this research will be probably the first in the world, and we are obtaining really nice results, and it will be everything public in some months. So it's a really an important achievement that we are obtaining together. Really.
Yes. So I think Andreas was already connected when he showed us the map of Malta, also with the cell towers. So really interesting. I know that there is an important activity also for our students where they can also do the PWE, where they can also learn more about, and of course, in activities that they can do in hands-on as our laboratory sessions here in Malta. So we have one question. So if you want to answer, Nicola.
Yeah.
Can you read it, Nicola? Should I read for everybody? Hi, my name is Laura, and I would like to thank you for this webinar. Very interesting. I do have a question. If you had to recommend one fundamental skill every forensic analyst should master when it comes to data validation, what it be? Thank you in advance.
So
So something about
it's
tools
a
and
very great question. And since we spoke about the data validation, to bring together as much sources as you can is to keep your eyes wide open and to check what you can put inside your investigation to make it stronger, to make it trustworthy in front of the judge. So this is the best skill, to keep your eyes open, because for technical side, you will find someone that will be way better than you in doing something specific. But if you have this feeling, it is amazing stuff.
Great, fantastic. So I don't know if we have other questions.
I'm not
We
seeing
have
more
some.
questions, but there are one that we usually do for our guests, and is how we are having many of our students here in these webinars. So, what advice you can tell them about, example, we are speaking about now the power of the proof. What is the thing that they should do when they are checking information, even if they are comparing with the AI? So right now it's sometimes also difficult to know if the pictures are real or are fake. So one advance that in your expertise, you can say you always need to check this.
You always need to not trust anything, not trust the best tool in the market, because everyone can make errors. So if you have something, just say, what if it is exactly the opposite of that? If you use this approach, you will survive. Because if you are facing like a proof that they intentionally altered to make you say something, to make you prove what they did, it can be a problem, no? Because they can make something in the way that you confirm their alibi. So in this way, it is completely different stuff. Oh, we do have another question from a good friend of mine. So when I mentioned that I was in the British Columbia Institute, it was with Barry, that is a professor over there. He's a criminalist, an amazing guy. And okay, we will talk later on, Andres. And so, Barry, how often do you encounter cell phone where the data is encrypted? I can say 99% of the time, because right now it is not something that the user has to set up. It is automatically in this starting process of the mobile phone. So when you turn it on for the first time, you are automatically giving the PIN code that encrypts everything. So or every single time. And is there any technology that decrypts encrypted data? Yes, there is. There are several ones that try to decrypt the data because you have different things. First of all, there are two main topics. The first one is to decrypt. So it means that I get a file and I try to decrypt in the standard way. So it takes a lot of time. The easiest, if you can say easiest, also the fastest way could be using a vulnerability. So if you spot that CPU has a bug, we can spot that vulnerability to get the data unencrypted. So it is a way easier, so a way faster, but getting the vulnerability to get into it is, I can say, a way harder because decryption is just time consuming. At the end of the history, you will success it, but it will take like 200 years. So it is not feasible, it makes no sense.
We have another
How do
question
you,
here.
yeah, go ahead, Andrea.
Yeah, no, it's I was reading the question from Mitra Krishnan.
How would you recommend to start working towards a career as a crime analyst? I have a master in criminology, but no professional experience out of hospitality. So what jobs should be I looking for right now across Europe to get relevant experience? Okay, this is a very, when I started, I had the same question. What can I do to become an expert witness? And so try to get in contact to whom is performing this activity. And I get what I did. I went to the police. It was telecommunication police in Italy, and I got an agreement like, okay, I can come here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday every single week, working for free, just to helping you in doing very basic stuff. And from the beginning, when I started that, it took like 1 year, and I said, okay, I learned about what was a mobile phone, what was the digital forensics process, how I can write a paper to be provided to the judge. And so what I learned after that, I started a company. So I would suggest you to find anyone that is performing this activity and ask them. I know that is not always possible, so but ask them to work for free for any single things that they can provide you because it is an investment that you are doing for your entire life.
I agree. So Lilia, okay, it's not a question. Thank you. Very interesting. Thank you, Lilia.
Okay, another
Okay.
suggestion that we can do for Mitra is that this is one of the things that the European Forensic Institute has because we have a big professional network. We are connected with many companies and professionals that work in the field of forensic science. So he can also check more about our Meet the Experts events, about the research that we do, and of course, we are managing this type of topics.
And
Yes, when
we do have students from FE in Securcube as well. So this is what we have been doing.
Yes, when in EFI we are speaking about professional partnership program, we are speaking about something really special. So it's a way to connect the real world, professional world with the academic world. And it's an effort we are doing, with our partners, of course, like Securcube. And it's a really nice way to anticipate the problem, to find a job, to start a profession, to start a career. And this is the way in which EFI is promoting their students and launching the students in the career. And thanks to to our partners and to Securcube. Okay, no other questions, I think. Okay, so thank you, Nicola, again. Thank you to Securcube for your time, for your availability, and all the things that you have explained to us. We will meet, of course, for our research activities, and we will meet in October for sure for the EACA conference in Treviso, Italy. And I hope to have all of you here with us for sure in a really nice place that me and Nicola knows very well because it's our area and our region. Okay, thank you very much to everybody. Thank you, Nicola. Take care.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Bye.
Hello.